Evelyn Harper and Marcus Kane were two relentless federal agents chasing whispers of a shadowy smuggling ring hidden deep within Washington, D.C.'s elite. What started as a simple tip quickly exploded into a dangerous game of deception, betrayal, and power where every ally could be an enemy, and the stakes were life and death. In the heart of Washington, D.C., where history and power collide, a secret world thrived in the shadows hidden from the public eye. For years, a carefully orchestrated illegal operation had been running quietly, smuggling rare and priceless artifacts stolen from museums across the globe. These treasures, many centuries old and of immense cultural value, vanished without a trace, only to resurface in hidden locations controlled by a mysterious figure no one had yet identified. The city's polished surface, known for its iconic monuments and government buildings, masked a darker reality. The federal authorities had heard whispers and rumors about stolen goods moving through the capital's docks and warehouses, but concrete evidence was elusive. The criminals were meticulous, leaving almost no trace. Investigators struggled to connect the dots as the stolen artifacts were shuffled through a complex web of underground contacts and secret auctions. One chilly evening, an experienced federal agent was on a routine patrol near the Potomac docks when something unusual caught his eye. A shipment was being unloaded quietly under the cover of darkness. The crates looked ordinary, labeled as antiques, with paperwork that seemed routine. But the agent noticed inconsistencies. The shipping documents didn't match the contents described. Something about the operation felt off. He alerted his team, and together they decided to dig deeper. Opening the crates revealed priceless relics, stolen sculptures, ancient manuscripts, and rare paintings reported missing from major museums in Europe and Asia. This discovery sent shockwaves through the federal investigation units. It was the break they had been waiting for, but it also raised urgent questions. Who was orchestrating this vast smuggling ring? How had they managed to operate undetected for so long in the nation's capital? And how many more shipments had slipped past the authorities? The investigation quickly became a race against time. The agent knew the criminal network was powerful and had connections that reached deep into the city's elite. The smuggling wasn't just about stolen art, it was a carefully guarded secret with dangerous implications. The stakes were higher than anyone expected. And this first major seizure was just the beginning of unraveling a much larger conspiracy hidden beneath Washington's grand facade. As the investigation progressed, it became clear that the smuggling operation was far more complex than anyone had imagined. The initial seizure at the docks was just the tip of the iceberg. Behind the scenes, a vast network connected corrupt officials, secretive auction houses, and hidden warehouses scattered throughout Washington, D.C. Each piece of the puzzle revealed a deeper level of organization and sophistication. Federal agents began to uncover encrypted communications between members of the network. These coded messages hinted at the involvement of someone with inside access to government resources, someone powerful enough to manipulate the system and keep the operation running smoothly. This insider seemed to have influence over customs inspections and law enforcement responses, allowing shipments to move freely despite growing suspicion. Investigators traced the stolen artifacts to underground auction houses operating in secrecy. These auctions attracted wealthy collectors from around the world, all eager to acquire rare pieces without asking questions. The auction houses operated in exclusive circles, using private invitations and unlisted locations to avoid detection. Each transaction was carefully masked by layers of false paperwork and offshore accounts. The warehouses where the artifacts were stored revealed yet another layer of deception. Hidden behind the facade of ordinary businesses, these storage sites were equipped with state-of-the-art security systems and staffed by trusted operatives. Federal agents discovered that these locations also served as meeting points where deals were finalized and new shipments planned. The deeper the team dug, the more dangerous the investigation became. Whispers of threats against witnesses and attempts to sabotage the inquiry began to surface. Agents faced obstacles not only from the criminals but from people within the system who were determined to protect their interests. Trust grew scarce as suspicion fell on individuals who had been involved in the investigation itself. As the pieces fell into place, a chilling realization emerged. The mastermind behind the operation was connected to the highest levels of power in Washington. This insider had used their position to cover up crimes and manipulate investigations, ensuring the smuggling ring remained untouchable. The stakes had never been higher. And the federal team understood that exposing the truth would mean challenging powerful forces willing to do anything to stay hidden. With the network laid bare but the insider still unknown, the investigators prepared for the most dangerous phase of their mission. Every move had to be calculated carefully, and every ally questioned. The capital's elegant streets now hid a web of crime and corruption, and the battle to bring justice had only just begun. Just when the investigation seemed to be reaching a dead end, a surprising breakthrough came from an unlikely source, a former smuggler who had long operated within the very network the federal agents were trying to dismantle. This man had once been deeply involved in the trafficking of stolen artifacts but had recently turned informant, offering critical information in exchange for protection and a chance at a fresh start. His sudden cooperation sent a wave of cautious optimism through the investigation team. Though his past was checkered with lies and deception, the former smuggler provided detailed insights that no official source could have known. He revealed the names of key players, described secret routes used to transport stolen goods, and disclosed dates for upcoming shipments. This intelligence allowed the agents to map out the inner workings of the smuggling ring with unprecedented clarity. For the first time, they could see how the pieces fit together and anticipate the criminal's next moves. However, the informant's motives remained uncertain. He was a man with a history of self-interest and betrayal, and the federal agents knew they had to be careful. Was he truly committed to helping bring down the operation, or was he playing a double game? His information, while valuable, came with risks. Trusting him too much could expose the entire investigation to sabotage. The team decided to use the intelligence to plan a large-scale sting operation targeting the next major shipment. The plan involved intercepting the cargo at a discreet location, far from public view, to avoid alerting the smugglers. Precision and secrecy were critical. Every detail was rehearsed, every team member given clear roles. The stakes were enormous. This could be the decisive moment that finally cracked the case. As the day of the operation approached, tension filled the air. The agents knew that one wrong move could tip off the criminals or endanger lives. Meanwhile, the informant stayed close, providing updates and guidance on the smuggler's movements. The federal team relied heavily on his inside knowledge but kept a wary eye on him. What no one suspected was that the informant held a hidden agenda. While appearing to aid the investigation, he was secretly feeding information back to the smugglers, preparing them for the impending raid. The line between ally and enemy blurred, and the stage was set for a shocking turn of events that would change the course of the investigation forever. The day of the sting operation began with quiet anticipation, but what was meant to be a swift and decisive move quickly spiraled into chaos. Federal agents positioned themselves around the designated location, a secluded warehouse near the waterfront, ready to intercept the shipment of stolen artifacts. Every detail had been carefully planned. Relying heavily on the insider information provided by the former smuggler turned informant. As the trucks carrying the crates pulled into the area, agents prepared to move in. However, almost immediately, it became clear that the smugglers were not caught off guard. Security cameras and guards were already on high alert, and backup reinforcements appeared from hidden exits. The smugglers had been tipped off. The informant's betrayal was now painfully obvious. A violent confrontation erupted, shattering the calm night. The agents found themselves outnumbered and surrounded. Shots were fired, and chaos reigned as both sides scrambled for control. In the confusion, several agents were injured, their efforts to secure the shipment stalled by the unexpected resistance. The smugglers used the chaos to their advantage, escaping through concealed routes planned in advance. The failed operation was a crushing blow to the federal team. It exposed the depth of the corruption within the network and revealed just how closely the criminals were monitoring the investigation. The betrayal by the informant not only cost valuable lives but also allowed key suspects to slip away, leaving the stolen artifacts still missing. In the aftermath, investigators faced tough questions. How many more insiders were leaking information? Could anyone involved be trusted? The agency launched an internal review to identify possible moles, but progress was slow and fraught with suspicion. The failure shook morale, and the investigation appeared to be at a crossroads. Despite the setback, the team refused to give up. They regrouped, determined to find new leads and rebuild their strategy. Slowly, fresh evidence surfaced: phone records, financial transactions, and hidden correspondence that pointed toward a mastermind higher up the chain of command. The sting operation's collapse became a turning point. It showed that the criminals were not just a street-level gang but part of a sophisticated and well-protected network with powerful allies. The federal agents realized they were fighting a battle not only against smugglers but against a system deeply entrenched in corruption. With renewed focus and a sharper understanding of the enemy, the investigation prepared to take its next step. The path ahead was dangerous and uncertain, but the truth was closer than ever, hidden beneath layers of deception waiting to be uncovered. After the failed sting, the investigation took a new direction. Federal agents doubled down on their efforts, knowing that the network they were chasing was more dangerous and powerful than anyone had anticipated. Every lead was scrutinized carefully, every connection examined for signs of betrayal. The pressure mounted as the team worked tirelessly to uncover the true mastermind behind the smuggling ring. Slowly but surely, evidence began to point toward an unexpected figure, a respected senator with a long-standing reputation for integrity. The senator's office, a symbol of authority and trust, was hiding a dark secret. Behind closed doors, the senator had been using his influence to protect the operation, manipulating officials and law enforcement to ensure the smuggling continued without interruption. Financial records revealed a trail of illegal payments funneled through shell companies tied to the senator's associates. Phone calls and encrypted messages confirmed meetings with key players in the smuggling network. The senator's involvement explained how the criminals managed to evade detection for so long and why previous investigations had stalled. With this revelation, the federal team prepared for the most significant crackdown yet. Coordinated raids were planned across Washington, targeting not only the senator's office but also the warehouses, auction houses, and safe houses connected to the operation. The operation was carried out swiftly and decisively, catching many suspects off guard. The senator was arrested along with dozens of his accomplices, sending shockwaves through the political world. Stolen artifacts, some missing for years, were recovered and returned to their rightful owners. The scale of the corruption and criminal activity exposed was staggering, revealing how deeply the smuggling ring had penetrated the city's power structure. The crackdown marked a turning point in the fight against organized crime in the capital. It showed that no one, no matter how powerful, was above the law. Yet, the case also served as a sobering reminder of how easily trust can be betrayed and how corruption can flourish in the shadows. Though the operation dismantled a major criminal enterprise, questions lingered. Were there others still hiding in the system? Would the city ever be free from such hidden corruption? The investigation closed one chapter but left an open warning: the battle against crime and corruption was far from over in Washington, D.C.